Bale Mill is a working 19th-century gristmill, or mill for grinding grain, located in Upper Napa Valley, California. A gristmill at this site dates back to 1843, when Napa Valley was still a part of Mexico. The present form of the mill, with the large water wheel, is from 1851. The mill fell into disuse in the early 20th century, before being restored to working condition in the 1980s. Now it is a California State Historic Park. Bale Mill originally served the farmers of Napa Valley by grinding the wheat that they had grown. In 19th century America, grist mills like this served every rural community. Later, they were replaced by bigger centralized mills that served a much larger region. Grist mills used a variety of power sources, including draft animals and steam engines. Bale Mill is powered by water. A mill pond collected the water of Mill Creek, which runs out of the hills on the west side of Napa Valley. A wooden flume carried the water to the mill's water wheel. Bale Mill has an overshot water wheel, which means that water pours onto the top of the wheel rather than running under it, in the case of an undershot wheel. A gate at the end of the flume controls the water entering the wheel. A geared shaft connects the wheel with the machinery inside the mill. The machinery inside the mill is based on Oliver Evans' design for an automated flour mill, developed in the 1780s and patented in 1790. Evans was an inventor and engineer in the early American Republic. In addition to the automated mill, he also invented the high-pressure steam engine used on Mississippi riverboats. For the automated flour mill, Evans introduced bucket elevators and other conveying devices to move product through the mill. He also added an invention called Hopper Boy, which cooled and dried the milled grain before it was sifted into different grades. Evans' mill was the first automated industrial process. It needed a human to start and stop the machinery and to make adjustments while running. But otherwise, the mill could run without human labor. This would be characteristic of early American industrial technology, where we compensated for our small population by using labor-saving machinery. At Bale Mill, wheat to be ground was loaded into the mill on the main floor. Cup elevators lifted the grain to the upper floor, where it passed through a grain cleaner, which removed foreign matter before milling. Present-day Bale Mill has a working grain cleaner, but it isn't used, because the mill grinds grain that is pre-cleaned. After cleaning, the grain would pass into a hopper, where it stayed until it was time for it to be milled. The centerpiece of the mill is the grinding stones, a pair of 42-inch quartzite French burr millstones. The top stone, or runner stone, turns, while the bottom stone, or bed stone, remains stationary. Grain falls from the hopper through a hole in the runner stone and is ground into flour in the space between the two stones. These stones still grind a variety of grains in living history demonstrations, including wheat, barley, rye, and corn. After milling, the flour went back up to the second floor, where it passed through the bolter, which sifted the flour into different grades: white, middlings, sharps, and bran. Like the grain cleaner, present-day Bale Mill's bolter works but isn't used, because the mill produces whole wheat flour rather than white flour. In the original mill, the sifted flour fell through chutes into sacks on the main floor. The flour was all milled now, just like the flour you can buy in bags at the grocery store today.